Alright, now let's talk about factoring polynomials. So as always, pause the video and try the examples, but let's get started. So the method I always use and what I teach my students is to use just guess and check. So if you have an x squared term, the only way you're going to be able to get that is if you make two brackets and one of the brackets has an x and the other has an x, because x times x is x squared. If it was 2x, one would have 2x and the other would have an x. Then the next thing you got to do is figure out two numbers that multiply to get to 10 and that also add to get to minus 7. So we know the factors of, the only ways we can get 10 would be like 1 times 10 or minus 1 times 10 or minus 2 times minus 5. So since we also have to get to minus 7, it would be a good idea to put in, say, minus 2 and minus 5. So the way you can check this to make sure you're correct is you can take the outermost term and multiply by the outermost, and you'll get minus 5x. And you can take the innermost term, multiply by the innermost, and add those two together. So you'd get minus 2. And you already know that they're going to multiply to get plus 10 because that's why you chose them. And then just to make sure that you're getting the middle term, just do this method and make sure you get minus 7x, which is the middle number. So that's our answer. Try the next one. And you'll get much faster at this the more you practice. Like for example, with this one, plus 25 and then minus 10, we can kind of see that that's going to be minus 5 and minus 5. So x minus 5, x minus 5, check the outermost and check the innermost, you would get minus 5x, which add up to get minus 10x, which is our middle term. Now let's try a little bit more complicated one. So my recommendation is to always simplify and factor out anything that you can first. So in this one, you can factor out 8xy from each and every term to give you y squared minus y minus 20. And then from there, this we would now want to guess and check. So if we try, let's see, minus 20. So we would want to find numbers that multiply to get minus 20 and add to get minus 1. So if we try y, I'm gonna make it incorrect first so I can show you just to check it. So let's try y plus 5 and then y minus 4. So then if you do this, you're going to get minus 4y and then plus 5y. So that would be plus y, which is not minus y. So that doesn't work. So that's very close. So now I would try just flipping the signs and make it plus. And now if I check, I would get 4y minus 5y, which would add up to be minus y, which is the middle term. So that works. So our final answer would be 8xy on the outside, y minus 4, y plus 4. Try these ones. So in this one, my approach would again be to factor out the first leading term. And I would get minus 2 on the outside, x squared, minus 49y squared. And then this is like a perfect square. So this you can break down to get x plus 7y and x minus 7y. And with factoring, you can always FOIL this out and check to see if you have the right answer or not. And that will give you the original if you did it correctly. Okay, so now let's try factoring the next one. So in this one, you can't really factor out a 2 from this one, but we know that to get the 2x squared, one term would have to have a 2x and the other would have to be an x. That's the only way you can get 2x squared. And then we would just multiply and guess and check basically to find numbers that would get to multiply to get minus 15. So let's try doing, let's say, I'll do it incorrect first, and then we'll see what we get and see what we can do. So if we do plus 5 and minus 3, we can check. So take the outermost 2x times minus 3 and we'll get minus 6x, and take the 5 times x and you would get 5x. So this would be minus x. So that is not plus x. So let's try again. Let's flip the signs. So if we do minus 5 plus 3, check the innermost and you'll get minus 5x, and then check the outermost and you'll get 2x plus times 3 is going to be 6x. So that's plus x. So therefore that's good. So that's our answer. Okay, now try doing this one. This one, good idea to remove the 3 because we can divide all the terms by 3. We get 3x squared plus 13x plus 4. And then now to factor this, I'm just again going to use guess and check. So if I put, to get the 3x squared, the only way I can do that is with 3x times x. So I'll put a 3x and an x, and then I'm looking for numbers that would multiply to get 4. So I would have two options. I could try doing plus 2 and plus 2, or plus 4 and plus 1. So I'm going to try doing plus 4 and plus 1 because we know we have to get to 13. So if I do plus 4 and then plus 1 and then I check, that would be 12x, and this would be plus x, so that would be 13x. So that's the correct answer for this one.